Hey, welcome back everyone. So for this video, I am going to be working on some football nails because college football and NFL season are coming up very soon and I am excited, which is something I wouldn't have said just over a year ago. My teenage boys, well, they're 14 and 12, they were getting into football, and I just kind of really got into it through osmosis, basically. And yeah, when I say I really got into it, I am that person who will literally get up off of my couch and yell either out of frustration or excitement. You know, it's an extreme emotion either either way, whether it's good or bad, at whatever is going on. And of course, I'm like, I am that person that is talking to the players like they can hear me through my TV screen. So yeah, it was just such an odd thing for me to say because I was not into sports at all, let alone football, before this point in my life. But last year, I just got really into it, and I was right there with my teenage boys and basically counting down the days till the new season after Super Bowl ended. And speaking of Super Bowl, I did some football nails for Super Bowl, even though none of the teams that I was rooting for made it. And I will say, like, this last Super Bowl, which is typically when I have watched football in the past, has been Super Bowl games. I think that's pretty much a given for most Americans, anyways, that even if you don't watch football, you typically do end up watching the Super Bowl. But so this wasn't my first Super Bowl game that I've watched, but this one, oh gosh, it wasn't the best, was it? I think a lot of people can agree. Well, unless you are a big fan of either team or the team that won, which, gosh, at this point, I can't even remember what was it, the Seahawks? I think it was. Yeah, it was the Seahawks. They just pretty much, yeah, I think that's probably one of the reasons why this last Super Bowl just wasn't really that fun to watch. You don't really, even if you are rooting for the team that won, you don't really want them to just stomp them into the ground. You want some action, you want to be entertained. And this last Super Bowl game just was not entertaining. Anyways, with all of that said, I am working on some French tips right now, and they are going to be the yard lines. And I'm only going to show one that I do because they're all the same. They'll be different yard line numbers. One's going to be 40, the next one's going to be 30, one's going to be 20. But it's the same. So once you see the one with the one number, that's what the rest of them are going to basically be like, just with the different numbers. But anyways, I decided to use two different layers of colors on these nails because I am working on Arkansas Razorback nails. So these will be for college football, for when college football season starts. And I am in Arkansas, and I do root for the Razorbacks, even though our last season was really terrible. If you're not a Razorback fan, but you are a college football fan, I think you know what I mean. Because that last season, it was just so bad. I think, did we only win 3 games out of the whole season? And they were they at the very beginning of the season, if I'm remembering right? Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad. And we ended up changing coaches in the season. We ended up firing one and rehired a previous coach that we've had in hopes that it would turn our defense around because our defense sucked. It was so terrible. Oh my God, our defense was awful. But I will say the coach, even though he didn't get hired on and we are with a different coach this upcoming season, he did do a good job of bringing up the defense. Like, they did get better and better with each game. I will say that. Now, unfortunately, it was kind of hard to not end up being better because that's how bad they were. They were just really, really bad. And so it didn't win us games. We came close. There were so many of the games that we lost by just 1 point, guys. 1 point. And it was just, gosh, it was not a good year for Razorback fans. It just wasn't. Anyways, so if you guys don't know, the Razorbacks, we call the Hogs at the beginning of every game, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, whatever other sport there is that just does not come to mind because I'm not a sports person. We call the Hogs by going, Wooo Pig Sooie, which I'm not doing that justice, but for, for college sports fans who have seen any, whether they're Razorback fans or not, they know what the hog call is. But for those who don't know anything about sports and are still sticking with this video, that's what we do. That's how we call the Hogs. And so that's what I put on the nail. But now I am working on the big football nail. And so I did two different football nails. And this is the big one. And then I'll be doing a 3D football on one of the French tips. And so back to what I was saying. I'm so sorry I ramble so much. Sorry. But I decided to do kind of a sparkly, kind of try to make it a little bit of a girlier Razorback set, because the Razorback colors, I mean, it's a dark red, black, and white. Not very girly, and these are nails. I wanted them to be a little bit more feminine looking with the colors, so I decided to add some sparkle to them. And so for the red, which is my go-to red, it's Roomba by Rebel Nail, or is it Rumba? I don't know. You know what? I think it's Rumba, right? Because that's the dance, right? I don't know. Anyways, it's my go-to red. I love it. And anyways, so I went with that, and then I did one of their red cat eye gels as an overlay over top, but I didn't magnetize the cat eye glitter because that's not what I was going for. And then for the green, I did Leapfrog, which is also Rebel Nail, and then Evergreen, which is also Rebel Nail, which is a kind of a jelly green glitter. And then for the fall, I did Cedar Trail with a glitter Model 1's top coat over it. Just so we just on point, where the overall theme is obviously football, but also glittery football. So here I am working on the 3D football now. And like I said, I'm just putting the 3D football over one of the French tips. And so in my cool nail video, for those who haven't seen it, and for those who might not remember, I talked about the top coat, about me possibly being a little heavy-handed. So what I did for this one, I went ahead and top coated the nail after I finished the French tip and the yardline design nail art before going in with the 3D sculpting gel. And basically, as you watched, I kind of basically shaped it into the shape of like a lemon, because well, sort of a lemon. It's very similar shape to what I did for the pink lemonade nails that I did for my friend. It's almost lemon-like, basically. And instead of going in with a liner brush to paint the main color onto the football, which is the same color as the big football nail, it's the cedar trail color from Revel Nail, I decided to go in first with just the main brush from the bottle, and then go in with the liner brush to finish in getting in all over the football, make sure everything's in the nooks and crannies, and for the detail work, because it's the cedar trail color it's not very opaque, but it's not a jelly. It's a little more sheer than, say, the red from Revel Nail. And so I decided to, instead of just, causing more work for myself, I finally decided to work a little smarter instead of harder. I know that's unusual for me, but I do learn. I pick up on things sometimes, but that's what I decided to do. Was do the main brush. That way it gives a little more color, and I'm not sitting there having to just really go over it like 2 or 3 times. So now I'm just painting on the white threads. What are these things called? It's where they place their fingers, right? For holding the ball for when they throw the ball, I guess. I know there's got to be a purpose for them. I'm new to watching football, so I don't really know. But I am using the painting gel, and I'll list it, but for the white, it goes on so much smoother than just your typical gel polish. It's very thick, it's very opaque, and it's great for line work. The white and the black, they're just basically my go-to for any line work that I need to do. Okay, so now I am going in with the top coat on the football only. So I'm using my brush, the main brush from my top coat, with very, very little amount of the top coat gel on it, and then I just applied it to the top. And now you can see where I'm using my liner brush to go in the rest of the way on the football. This allowed, and it's turned out so cute. This is one of my favorite nails, but it allowed to keep most of the definition. Okay, so I spent probably an hour working on this thing, and look, it sucks. So off to the basement it goes. It knows what he did. So we're starting over, and it's kind of hard to see, but I ended up sketching out the Razorback face this time because I forgot that I had bought this a long time ago. And it is a matte top coat, but I got this from Sweetie Nail Supply, and you can use a pencil and sketch over it. And I completely forgot about it. Then I remembered it because after, the one we sent to the basement, after I got done with that and was very annoyed, I was thinking about just getting my Cricut out at that point. And then I was like, oh no, wait, I bought this. And for the purpose of sketching out to make stuff like faces a lot easier. And so that's what I did. I got this out and it works. I have not gone back over it because you can't just use gel paint and go over where the pencil is. So I'm going to have to top coat it again. And I don't know how that's going to work out. Hopefully the pencil marking doesn't smear. So we shall see. And hey, it works. So it did not smear at all. And when I said that you can't just go over the pencil markings with your gel paint, I don't know. You probably can, but if you make a mistake and you need to wipe it away, then you end up wiping away your sketch on the nail. So this is why I went over it again with the top coat, and it worked beautifully. It did not smear at all. And this matte top coat, I will say, does have a sticky innovation layer to it. So you do have to use an alcohol wipe to wipe the stickiness away before you can use your pencil to sketch it out. And y'all, I just use a regular mechanical pencil that you pick up from Walmart. It's nothing fancy. It was I don't even know, it might have been on a 0.7 or 0.9, maybe it was 0.5 millimeter lead, but it was just your regular everyday school mechanical pencil, basically. And and then, yes, I did not film me sketching it out because I did it at night, because that Razorback face was just frustrating the ever-loving bejesus out of me, and I couldn't sleep, and I didn't want to get all my stuff out, the lamps and all that stuff, and wake my kids up by, digging all the stuff out and everything, because I don't have a dedicated nail desk. I use my dining table to do all my nail stuff. And so I don't have this stuff just set out. I get it all out and put it all away every single time I work on the nails. And so it's a lot, because as I'm sure any nail girly can tell you, there's a lot of stuff, that comes with doing nail art and working with nails and everything. And I use 2 big nail lamps too. So anyways, with all that said, it was late at night, and I didn't want to dig all the stuff out and possibly wake up my kids and everything. But I couldn't go to sleep because it was frustrating me, and I needed to figure it out. And it worked. And so there is going to be a video coming after this one where I will show, because I didn't get footage of any of the sketching that I ended up doing for this set, and I do apologize for that. But in my video of a new set that I am working on right now, I did film me sketching out, and I will go over more detail of how the matte top coat works and everything as well too, because this is, if anyone who struggles with sketching the stuff out with the gel, it's sketching, doing your sketches with a brush is different than it is with a pencil. For me, it is anyways. And it's always been a bit of a struggle. Now, I don't feel the need to do it with absolutely everything, but for stuff like this, where I want to get the things to be as accurate as possible, like Arkansas Razorback, I don't want to draw out something that doesn't end up looking good to my eye or good to Razorback fans. I want it to look good. I want an everyday Razorback fan to be able to look at this nail and be like, oh my God, that's the hogs, so this is one of the reasons why I feel like this is just such a game changer for me, this matte top coat. I'm just so excited that I remembered it, and it worked so well. And as you can see, I sketched out another Razorback. This is a profile view of Razorback. And so when I didn't know for sure what I wanted to do. I was thinking about just doing this same exact Razorback for the other thumb. But when we were driving, me and my kids, we had stopped behind a car that had a big, huge Razorback on the back of their vehicle because, again, this is Arkansas. We're big on our college football. And anyways, it's the classic, it's the very iconic profile Razorback. It's the one that's basically on all of the merchandising and stuff. And I was like, oh, you know what? Well, why don't I do that one? I should do that. I will say this probably ended up being my favorite one, especially of the two Razorback nails. This ended up being one of my favorite nails from this set. The 3D football one, and the Wooo Pig Sooie, of course. And I also wanted to point out that I am going over the black with all the sketched out lines because even though it kind of looks in the video that, oh, it's already black, why are you going over again? Well, I mean, it doesn't. In person, it definitely looks like pencil versus paint or gel polish in this case. And so I'm just going over all of those lines to, get the best definition as possible with all the line work and everything and stuff. But yeah, you guys tell me what you think, which nail is your favorite, and also what team do you guys root for? Do you prefer college football or NFL football? My husband, he prefers NFL football. I'm good with either one. My dad has always been big on sports, and he prefers college sports over professional. But let me know what you guys think, and thanks for watching.